Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, March 13th, 2024. I've always had a lot of different interests. A lot of different things fascinate me. I've been told I have an inquisitive temperament, which I suppose can be useful and productive if you have a job like this, because I'm so curious about so many things. And I'm glad we have this thing called the internet. I get to look things up and read articles and publications and all this other stuff about things that I am interested in. I've always had this curiosity about civilizations that existed before us. I don't think my curiosity ever went to the extent of me wanting to be an archaeologist, but I always found it really fascinating when you have these people that go on these digs and they'll find like a town that existed, thousands of years ago. What's the one in Italy where the volcano came and it volcanoed on the people? Mount Vesuvius in Italy, 79 AD. And I guess when the lava came, it came real fast. And people were just like sitting in the kitchen or whatever they had in the year 79 AD. They were on their iPhones, just hanging out. And like they were killed they were frozen in time. And families were, still gathered near each other. Like nobody tried to run, nobody tried to flee. And so these people who were killed by Mount Vesuvius erupting in 79 AD were frozen in time. And we could see the cookware that they used and how they built their houses and the communities in which they lived. That is so fascinating. I've always just had a deep curiosity about people, especially the people that came before us. And if we don't know who these people are or how they lived, we tend to make up stories about them. But I don't want to make up a story. I want to know the reality of the people that existed before us. The other fascination is you get to see how they lived. And we can make assessments and judgments and compare how we live right now to how people in ancient civilizations lived. The Egyptians were great. They used to draw on the wall. They used to do graffiti, hieroglyphics. They had an alphabet too. Didn't they use Sanskrit? Somebody used Sanskrit. Well, they had a language. They were very smart people. They had indoor plumbing. I believe the human ingenuity built the pyramids. People think that the aliens built the pyramids. And I don't subscribe to the notion that the aliens built the pyramids. And I think that came from a stereotype that anything on the African continent that defies our understanding and comprehension could not have been built by Africans. It must have been built by aliens. I would like to think that those of us descended from Africa are very smart. We found ourselves in that whole slavery trap, so it doesn't mean we couldn't get outsmarted, but I think that we're very smart people, and we are engineers, and we perfected math and science. Like we taught that to the Europeans, but they don't tell that when they tell the full story of us. Far too many people want to tell the story of us from slavery onward, like we didn't exist prior to that. So I've had this deep fascination with how other civilizations lived. What did they do? How did they get along? How did they compete for resources? What on earth did they eat? How healthy were they? And we can tell all these things when we do these archaeological digs, and you can tell a lot from dental records. We can tell, did you guys know that? We can tell a lot about an ancient civilization by their teeth. I would like to think that the world will continue on for a very long time, even if human beings are not a part of it. This earth was here 5 billion years or more prior to us arriving. And even if we destroy each other, with Vladimir Putin now threatening to use nuclear weapons if he believes that Russia's sovereignty is being threatened, and let me just tell all of you who may be curious, Russia's sovereignty is being threatened by Western countries and most of Europe. So even if we are gone, this world will still exist. I can even give you the context of climate change. I don't say global warming because for some reason that phrase is as triggering to you all as when I talk about everyone driving an electric car. So I won't call it global warming. I will call it climate change. And I'm not going to debate you on whether it's man-made or not. Most of the things that screw the world up, we did it. So don't question the whole climate change thing. If there's something in the world that's screwed up, systems, societies, governments, people, capitalism, democracy, communism, if there's something that human beings can screw up, I promise you we will. That shouldn't even be something to argue about. But here's the thing about the earth. It is a part of the natural world, as are we. You know, when you get a fever, your temperature rises, and your temperatures can rise to a very dangerous level. Some of you have been sick recently. A whole bunch of you had COVID. And a part of getting sick or getting the flu or getting COVID is you get a fever. The mechanism of the fever is the virus that is making you sick can only exist and replicate itself in an ideal temperature inside of your body. If your body temperature is too low, viruses and certain bacteria will die and they cannot replicate as efficiently. You ever gone into an emergency room? Some of you have. You had a surgery. You ever notice how cold it is in there? It's very cold in the operating room when you go into the surgical procedures because bacteria that we do not want in an operating room or any place where they're doing any kind of surgery, we don't want bacteria at all. So it's always very cold. Like when they roll you in and you talk to the anesthesiologist and they ask you if you want blankets, they always have those warm blankets. Well, that's on purpose. So viruses and bacteria have to operate in a certain temperature in the host. The host is our body. So when we get a fever, that is the human body raising its core temperature to destroy the bacteria and the virus that's making us sick. The human body it's so magnificent. The things our bodies can do. We literally heal ourselves. This is a beautiful, wonderful thing, isn't it? So when you get a fever, that is you, the host, your body, your autonomic nervous system raising your core temperature to basically cook the virus out of existence. The earth is currently raising its core temperature. We're not even going to argue about that because I do believe that this was the warmest winter on record, only to beat the previous winters that we've had on record. We, human beings, are the virus. We destroy everything. We destroy land. We destroy natural beauty. We colonize everything. We settle on everything. We build and we destroy the earth, don't we? And we pollute. We pollute the waterways and the rivers and the streams and the oceans. Go and look up how much plastic is in the ocean right now. In fact, there's so much microplastics all over the place. It is in our bodies. We are destroying the earth. We are the virus. So what is the earth doing as the host? Raising its core temperature to destroy us. The earth has been around for a very long time. It is not going to be outsmarted by us. It will kill us first if we do not kill ourselves. However, I digress. I hope there's people here on this planet for a very long time. And maybe they'll find us many thousands of years from now. They may wonder, well, what were human beings like in the year 2021, 2022, 23, and 24? And what if there's an archaeological dig, let's say 5,000 years from now, 10,000 years from now, assuming human beings don't destroy one another or the planet does not destroy us. Let's just assume, okay? Let's say they came to an African-American neighborhood on the north side 10,000 years from now. And things were frozen in time. Clearly, all of us, we are all gone. But maybe there was a neighborhood or a portion of the city that was buried or frozen in time some kind of way. And they did an archaeological dig on 35th and North Avenue or 27th and Burleigh or 15th and Center. 10,000 years from now. What do you think they would find? And what do you think they would say about the people that live there? And what if there was another archaeological dig 10 or 15,000 years from now and they were in Brookfield? or in Elm Grove, and those places were frozen in time like Mount Vesuvius froze those Italians in time some 2,000 years ago. What assessments do you think that they would make about a suburban community, maybe Mequon or Thiensville or maybe Saukville? What would they say? What would they find? What assessments would they make about those people? What assessments would they make about the African American community on the north side of Milwaukee? I'm going to take a break and I'm going to come back. And I'm going to kind of dig deep, I guess literally and figuratively, on this topic. If you just survey the landscape and you look around, because assuming that we are gone 10 or 15,000 years from now, and we will be, and everything is left exactly as it is right now. So if you walk down the street, whatever you see on the ground, whatever monuments or traffic lights or automobiles or buildings or shops or stores or consumer goods, even our garbage is just boom, frozen in time to be discovered 10 or 15,000 years later.